I like chocolate chip cookies just as much as the next guy. But when is somebody gonna finally address the glaring problem that chocolate chip cookies have been plagued with for all of eternity? I'm talking about the size. The average chocolate chip cookie is between 2 and 3 inches. If you're a grown-ass man like me, that just doesn't cut it. So if you're tired of those little wimpy cookies and want something a little more hefty, stay tuned and let me show you how to do it. We're going to need a plan here. First thing first, you're going to have to get a 12-inch cast iron skillet. Second, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you're going to need your ingredients. It's pretty much the standard chocolate chip ingredients. We're just making a big cookie, not trying to reinvent the wheel here, people, am I right? Alright, let's start getting that butter ready. We're going to need a stick and a half or 12 tablespoons of unsalted butter. On the half stick, cut it up into 4 individual tablespoon pieces. Before we start prepping our other ingredients, we're going to place 9 tablespoons of that butter in the cast iron skillet. We're going to let it get nice and brown over medium heat. While that butter is starting to heat up, let's get the rest of our dry ingredients ready, starting with brown sugar. The recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of dark brown sugar. You'll notice that I'm mixing it with a little bit of light brown sugar due to the fact that I did not have enough dark brown sugar. However, this will not adversely affect the final product. You're going to need half a cup of granulated sugar. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt. In a separate bowl, add 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour and a half teaspoon of baking soda. Give it a good whisk and throw it to the side. Alright, let's get back to that butter. You want to make sure once it gets hot that you're stirring frequently in order to not have any burnt butter bits. You'll know it's done once the butter has a dark golden brown color and you'll smell a nutty aroma. Next, transfer the contents of that pan with all the butter into a large mixing bowl. And don't forget to use some oven mitts because that pan will be caliente. Take the 3 remaining tablespoons of butter from earlier and drop them in the bowl with the hot butter. For me, they actually slipped in there right out of my fingers. Guess you could say I had butter fingers. Whisk those 3 tablespoons of butter until it's totally dissolved. Next, we're going to dump in our brown sugar, granulated sugar, salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and we're going to whisk until smooth. Next, you're going to want to add 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk. You're going to want to whisk for about 30 seconds, and then you're going to wait for 3 minutes, and then you're going to repeat this step 2 more times. Whisk 30 seconds, wait 3 minutes. Doing this is going to allow the sugars to dissolve better. Okay, it's been about 10.5 minutes and this is what it looks like. Next, we're going to combine our baking soda and flour mixture. We're going to use a rubber spatula and combine it, being careful not to overmix it. Now we're going to add 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips and we're going to mix until there's no more flour pockets remaining. At this point, you should take a paper towel and wipe out any excess butter from earlier that's been left in the cast iron skillet. And now it's time for us to dump the cookie dough mixture in the pan. Using a rubber spatula, make sure to get it flat, pushed up against the walls of the skillet, and as even as possible. Now we're going to put it in our preheated oven at 375 for about 20 minutes. Make sure you rotate the skillet about halfway to ensure even heating. It's been about 20 minutes, so let's see how we made out. All I can say is wow. That is in fact what I'm talking about. Let me tell you what we're looking at here. We got a cookie with a 12-inch diameter and a 37.7-inch circumference. Okay, let's whip out a pizza cutter, get this sliced up, and see what we're dealing with here. Consider me impressed. This looks amazing. All that's left to do is throw it on a plate and maybe spray a little whipped cream on there. My final thoughts are that I think this was really good and I highly recommend you try it. The sides and the bottom had a nice crust from the cast iron pan. The middle was really chewy. This recipe could easily serve 8 people, especially if you pair it with whipped cream and ice cream. And that's it, folks. It's just a big cookie. Let's not overthink things here.